Sir. Power back, power back.
Big brake, pull up. Big brake, pull up.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts.
The stars of the film are Denzel Washington, there's Bruce Greenwood, Don Cheadle, and Kelly Reilly who are in this film. And also John Goodman has a really interesting role. He comes in, I believe, two or three scenes. And he's wonderful. It's just a lot of fun with the character. That is, the way he's written in the script. Hi, welcome to Movie Inquisition with Peter Andranas. Flight, 2012, one of my favorite movies by director Robert Zemeckis, which you know from past films like Forrest Gump, Contact, Castaway. This movie is more closely related. Also, Polar Express, the animation films he did. But this one is closely related more to films like Contact and Castaway. Where the subject is as big as the girth of the film and has something to say. Very important thing in this case about alcoholism and taking responsibility, when you are an alcoholic, about your condition and how it affects others. There's a wonderful, very dramatic scene, as you saw earlier, of the plane diving.
Hard, sir. Power back.
Big brake, pull up. Big brake, pull up.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. I have no control on my side. No control at all, sir.
Lost hydraulics. Center, this is Subject 227. We've lost our hydraulics and feels like our pitch control.
Subject 227 Atlantis.
Turn on the backup pump. The backup pumps. That is affirmed. We are in an uncontrolled pursuit.
Subject 227 Atlantis. Say your intentions.
Yes. Everybody's belted in. Are we going down?
Belted in. We need everybody in brace positions. Yes, that is affirmed. We are in a dive. We are in a dive. We have lost vertical control. We're going to need drag. I want you to throw out everything you got. The speed brakes, the gear, everything.
Here. Speed brake.
There's a lot more in the film in regards to that and what happens on the plane. And it's very important, very dramatic, but very well done. And when I say dramatic, not melodramatic, which is one of the key things about the film. It's very in touch with its subjects, and it's very realistic, and it doesn't exaggerate anything. It's wonderfully understated. There's a scene we're going to show you in a restaurant, and just the way the characters are talking with each other. These are actors' choices as well as director choices, how to play that scene. It seems very natural, as you will see.
Talking about your co-pilot's wife, told the newspaper that God landed that plane.
Yeah? Oh, God.
Well, I do believe God landed the plane. Same way I believe God should hit the buffet. The turkey sausage is excellent. So Len Caldwell really wanted to get here this morning. Len's the president of the pilot scene, and he wanted to be here to meet with us and you. But they needed him at the crash site. So, as you know, when a plane goes down, the NTSB sends a go team to the crash site. Needed it.
They find the flight data report.
They did. It's perfectly intact.
Great. And that solves everything. So, why do we need a lawyer from Chicago?
Well, Hughes specializes in criminal negligence.
Criminal negligence?
Mm-hmm.
Death demands responsibility. 6 dead on that plane. Someone has to pay.
Yeah, but there's a plane that fell apart at, I think he fell apart at 30,000 feet.
On the airline will try to prove equipment failure. which is going to make the manufacturer responsible. The manufacturer, in turn, is going to try and prove poor maintenance of the equipment by the airline.
Or pilot error.
I like the way that he sets up his scenes in this film. Robert Zemeckis sets it up really well. He uses the the wide shots extremely well to create a certain feeling in the film, and even with the emotions, he uses the close-ups very well as well. And I found that framing is beautiful. Framing is what you choose to show. For those who don't know, your canvas as like a painter. What are you showing in that scene?
I'm Captain Whitaker. If you look up, you'll see me here in the forward galley. I'll wave to you. I want to apologize for the bumps this morning. Evidently, Florida doesn't like us Georgians. Maybe it has something to do with the beating the Bulldogs put on the Gators last fall. I'm going to ask you just to stretch out and relax. Air might get a little cranky, so we're going to ask that you remain in your seats with your seatbelts securely fastened around you. We won't have beverage service today, but the flight attendants will be going through the cabin with water and with snacks. Have you on the ground in Atlanta? 40 minutes. Thank you.
Here's a montage of how much drinking Denzel Washington's character does in the film, and it goes on and on.
I hear you're some kind of pilot.
And you'll see, like in this scene, well, it speaks for itself. I won't mention why he does this, but he's actually not a drug addict. He's an alcoholic. This just sort of tempers the alcoholism, the extreme alcoholism, so he can get up the next day and perform his duties as a pilot, as you see in the scene coming up.
Head back.
But he faces the big challenge of the character is alcoholism, and this is really where the film is really focused. That's what it's about, that's the subject, and you get a real, you get a drama and a human experience about this man's, alcoholism, and at the same time you get the sense of being in a movie. And like I said, without the extra stuff we don't need, which a lot of directors tend to do and overdo. So Flight is definitely one of my favorites of this year.